live. We are live. Yay. Welcome to session 3, everybody. I'm so excited. I've been waiting to journey with Hecate for the whole damn year. So we are here. I hope you're as ready and as excited as I am. I'm ready to go. And I hope you guys are too. I've got a great meditation for you today, I think, that felt like it was delivered from Hecate herself. So I hope you are ready. I am in the house. Oh, it's good. So many of you are there. I'm thrilled. Okay, well, tonight is going to be very special. I'm going to begin by ringing the bell because there's a lot to tell you. It's so much fun. Hecate's a big deal. And, you know, tonight is powerful. I'm in kind of a fun, silly mood today, kind of. But I don't want to take away from the serious tone of the work that we're doing tonight because Hecate is all business, right? Hecate is a very serious goddess, and she demands from us a sense of seriousness and reverence too, right? I'm so glad that you guys are ready. It's wonderful to see you. She's a beautiful goddess. Some people are scared of working with Hecate, and I want to reassure you. Maybe it's because I'm Greek. But Greek people have always seen Hecate as not just a goddess of death and transformation. She does represent that, but she's a protectress. I mean, she is the one that led Demeter to find Persephone, right? So she looks out for women in particular, but she looks out for both sexes, both genders, but in particular she's known to be a patron of women. She's very supportive of magic, of energy. But her biggest gift, of course, is that she stands as the guardian of the triple gateway, right, between the three worlds. So she stands between the worlds of the living and the dead, but she really does. She was the first shaman, as I said before. I mean, at least in the Greek pantheon, she's as close as we get to a shaman. Oh, interesting. That's very interesting. Danielle said Hecate told her that she actually can't work with other goddesses. Is she a selfish goddess, this one? I don't know. It's interesting. I haven't had that experience with her, but it's good to pay attention and to heed the wisdom that the different goddesses bring you. But I'm thrilled that you're here. I think tonight's going to be very, very special. So I'm going to smudge it, starting right away. I wanted to mention that there are 2 things in the shop today that might be interesting to you before we start. Numite wands, which I just checked and are almost gone. I mentioned them briefly to you guys and then on Instagram. It's the first time I've had guaranteed Numite, like real deal from Greenland, authentic, 1000%, and you can tell the difference. So if you want the real deal, and it is the most powerful transmutation stone there is, which is why I was super excited to get it. I brought it from Denver, and the man who has it is a magic man, and the quality of it is absolutely beautiful. So if you were looking for something for transmutation, and then we finally brought Morgana back, a lot of you were chomping at the bit. It has taken me a month to make Morgana. I was telling the story about Morgana perfume when I was doing live readings earlier. So I'll briefly tell you the story now. And this is what Morgana looks like. We have 2 different sizes of her. The ingredients to make Morgana are some of the most expensive ingredients that I use in any perfume, which is why it's one of the most expensive perfumes. For a while, we couldn't get 2 of the ingredients, so we stopped carrying it. And then people were like, holy shit, you're not going to have Morgana anymore. And I wasn't sure we were going to have Morgana anymore. So the story of Morgana is I was in San Francisco with my very small team up there at the time. And my spirit guides told me to make Morgana. I don't have the list of the ingredients to tell you, unfortunately, and I'm holding a lot of information in my head right now, so I wouldn't be able to rattle it off for you. There's vetiver in it. There's about 8 ingredients in Morgana, but I don't have the list to tell you off the top of my head. I don't want to tell you something that's in it that isn't in it. There's 2 attars from India, though, and those were the 2 ingredients we weren't going to be able to get anymore. And without those attars, it doesn't smell like this. So there's 2 different forms of vetiver, 2 different Indian attars, and then there are 4 other ingredients, but off the top of my head, I can't give you the list. Do you have the list of ingredients, Colin? That would be helpful. You probably don't have the full list of ingredients because I sometimes don't put the full list online just because we have copycat people who just go around trying to copy all the perfumes I made. But the 2 attars from India are the really distinctive things that you smell, and they're impossible to get. So we finally got the attars back. So when I was in San Francisco, I had, it's, how would you describe it? It's smoky, I would say. It's not sweet. It's It's like resinous and smoky and really deep and very seductive, and it changes about every hour. When I wear it, it changes. So when I put it on, like I put it on this morning and it smelled one way, and now it smells slightly floral. Yeah, smoky, sexy, I think, is the way I would describe it. Okay. But you don't buy it for the smell, you buy it for the energy. It's a shape-shifting perfume. So let me tell you the 2 quick stories really quick. So when I was in San Francisco, I made it. And because I had been guided to make it. This was probably, we've been down here for 5.5 years. So maybe that was about 7 years ago when I made Morgana. It's hard to believe it's been that long, maybe 6.5 years ago. So I made it, and I asked my team to try it. It was Alex and Molly and a couple of other people up in San Francisco at the time. And so there was one woman who was new, who had just started working with me up there. And so she said, I'll try it. I'm not really into perfumes, and I don't really understand the metaphysical stuff, but let me try it, right? And so, that was a strong siren. The crow right behind it. If that isn't Hecate, like what is? And Morgana too. So she said, I'll try it. So she took it into the bathroom and she put it on, and I was waiting for her to come out and tell me about her experience with it. And like 5 minutes went by, and then 10 minutes went by, and she finally came out and she was like, what's Morgana like as a goddess? That was the first thing she asked. And so I was talking to her about Morgana, that she's a shadow goddess, that she shapeshifts, into different animals and different. And she's like, okay. And she looks at me and she goes, I'm not super into this stuff, but like, I feel like I either want to seduce someone or I want to create something or destroy something. She's like, there's this like energy coming through me right now. And we were all just laughing. I was like, that's Morgana. And then she goes, well, if that's what Morgana is, I think you got it right. And then she's like, I think I need to take some home with me. So we all laughed, and we all poured like little bits into bottles and took it home. And for weeks we were all talking about like, well, what's Morgana making you do? Well, she's making me do this, right? Okay, so then fast forward to about a month or two ago, we all agreed as a team I needed to recreate Morgana for Shadow Season. We hadn't had it for a while. And so we pulled all the ingredients and I blended it, and it wasn't right at all, okay? But we were missing one attar. And so I was like, we have to have that attar. We can't make it without it. So we order the ingredient comes in. I thought it was going to be really easy. Okay, I was just like, well, once I get the other ingredient, I'll make it. Then I add the ingredient to it, and it like, she slips out of my hand. It's like as soon as I think I've got her where she needs to be, then she shapeshifts into something else. And I was really upset because I was like, I thought that was the only thing that was missing. And so then I was like, let's try one more thing. And so I pulled one more ingredient and I added it, and then she was back. But it's like there's this energy of like, you can't hold me, you can't force me, you can't make me, you can't. It's like, it's that kind of energy. But for right now, it's really true. And she doesn't like to be made on a timeline. Like, we were trying to make her on a timeline to get her, because we wanted her to have her listed before the holidays, because everybody in the perfumery group's been asking, and half of you guys don't even know what it is. But my hardcore people who've been with me for a long time are like, are you not making Morgana anymore? So the fact that I can even show you these 2 bottles and tell you this is 100% Morgana, I finally got it right. She did not shapeshift out of my hand. And at least we have all the ingredients for now. So we have one mother bottle of it, which is I think about 100 and 125 bottles. And that's all we're going to have for Shadow Season. So if Morgana is calling to you, today is the day. One thing I'm going to do that's really special for you guys, I found this, and I was thinking about our class last night. So I'm going to, since a lot of you are getting the Morgana and the Numite and other stuff today, I'm going to choose one of you tomorrow and send this with your order. This is a, technically it's amethyst and hematite. It's almost like the smamatite that I've showed you that has the amethyst and the hematite and the smoky quartz in it. But there's also a little bit of black tourmaline in this one. There's like a little tourmaline triangle. So I don't actually know what's happening in this piece, but it's a Merkaba, which will help activate light codes for you. Isn't that cool? I don't have any of these for purchase. Like, you can't buy this, but I only have one. So one of you who gets Morgana or the Numite from today, I'm going to send this in your package. Isn't it gorgeous? So that'll be a fun little extra for you, and we'll announce and let you know who wins it. What I'm going to do in the morning is go through all of today's orders and then pull out Soul Shift and then choose one, and then we'll send that with you. Isn't that exciting? I know. You don't have to put a code or anything because it's only going to be for you guys and from today. So you don't need a code. I'll know who you are, and that felt like the right thing. I know. I wish I could get Merkabas like this, but they're actually really hard to find because they're not easy to carve. And these are all hand carved. This particular one came from India, which is where most of the Merkabas come from. But this is what that diamond light looks like when it's spinning. Because all this is a collection of octahedrons, right? It's like 1,000 diamonds in one. Isn't that cool? So whoever gets this, when you get it, send me a picture and let me see where you put it in your sacred space so I can enjoy that with you. Okay, so that's Morgana and Numite. The Numite is insane. I literally screamed. I had never held real Numite in my hand. We've had Numite before, but it's the same stuff everybody else has, and it's reconstituted, and it never quite felt like the real thing. And so finally I was like, I don't want to carry Numite anymore until we can get the real deal from Greenland. The real deal has blue flashes in it. The other stuff does not. So when I finally was in Denver and I held these wands in my hands, like my hands were shaking. It's really, really a powerful stone. Numite is, some people say it's multi-billion years old. It's the oldest material on the planet after zircon. And it comes only from Greenland. There's this one remote area in Greenland that you can mine Numite, and it's covered in snow for 11 and a half months a year. So you can only mine it. There's these 2 weeks a year where you can get it. So anyway, if you got Morgana or Numite today, you got really special shadow magic. Everything else in the shop is beautiful too, but for you guys, like, it's funny, I think of different things when I think of you guys. I don't think of like the common things. I always think of like the deeper magic and the things that are more rare and more unique for you guys. So heads up on that. But like I said, I only have 100 bottles of Morgana, and I have, I think, 20 Numites left. So do not feel pressured. If you don't want it, leave it for somebody else so they can have it. No, seriously. When it comes to stuff like this, I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm trying to let you know it's there. But a part of me is like, if you don't want it, like, leave it for somebody else. You know what I mean? Because I don't have more behind this. It's true. They're really, really special. Okay. So we rang our bell. If you have your mala, you need to have your mala because we're going to do your mantra tonight, as always. Isn't that interesting that you got it from the book signing, and it just dipped away, huh? Isn't that interesting? Well, I know. Well, it's interesting, Rena, whether they will find more. Rena was saying that once the everything is melting and we have better access to frozen land, whether we'll find more. People have been talking about that when it comes to stones that are mined in remote regions, like Charoite from the Charo Peninsula in Russia is really, really hard to find. What else would fall into that category? There's quite a few stones that come from that sort of northern Siberian Russian region that are really, really tricky to get our hands on. So it's possible. Astrophyllite would fall into that category. Charoite would fall into that category. Numite certainly would fall into that category of stones that can only be mined for 2 to 4 weeks a year because of ice. It makes our job really tricky, and customers don't know that. So they think, oh, you can always find Charoite. Oh, you can always find Seraphinite. Oh, you can, which is another one. Seraphinite's super tricky. You can always find those things, and it's like, no, you can't, unless you have gifts and skills that I don't know about, right? I love Charoite too. And that, where Charoite comes from, is such a beautiful part of the world. If you ever want to go down a rabbit hole, look up the Charo Peninsula. It's really, really beautiful. Chrome diopside would be another example of that. Alexandrite is impossible anyway. You know what I mean? Like, all of these stones are so super rare, and then you put the time and ice considerations into it, and it's a surprise that we ever even have these stones in our hands, truly. I love Seraphinite too, Walter. It's one of my favorites. I got a Seraphinite sphere in Denver that I kept for my personal collection. And because I didn't have a Seraphinite sphere. It's not very big. It's like that big. But I was just so stoked to have one because it brings in angels, and it's really good for severe psychic trauma. And sometimes I work with people, because I have to work with whoever comes my way, but sometimes they've really been through really severe psychic trauma, and Seraphinite, in my experience, is one of the only stones that can really get people out of what would be like sort of near possession state, right, where they have some sort of entity attachment. And so I work with Seraphinite for cases like that, where I know the work is tricky, but I have to do it anyway, and I want to stay safe and protected. I don't know, Jean, did they find new Alexandrite in India? Does it have the full pleochroism and the color change properties? If they did find a new pocket of it, I mean, that would be fantastic news, because I've always wanted a nice piece of alexandrite for myself, but I'm not going to spend what they ask for it. Like, I'd really like a nice cut faceted piece, but Ammonite from India or from Canada is another one that's really tricky to get your hands on. So anyway, just to keep in mind, some stones are, they're special because they're rare, but also because their accessibility is limited. Okay. So I'm going to use my Shadow Mala, and then I've decided I'm going to give this one away tonight. So if you don't have a Shadow Mala, or if you don't have a Mala, and you would like to have one, I'm going to give my exact one away at the end of class tonight after our journey. So I thought that would be really fun. I love this one. My original one I gave to Jessica, who's in the feed. I hope you're still loving your Mala. And I will anoint this one with our perfume from this month. I did that with Jessica's, and she enjoyed that. So I will anoint with a little bit of the perfume before I ship it to you as well. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, so if you don't have one, or if you have one but you don't have one of the Shadow Malas, just let me know. I'm going to do the giveaway at the end. And then, and Maria lost hers in the move, and Ebony does not have one. Okay, so I'm not going to give it away yet, but just like I'm putting it out there so that you can feel into it, whether it resonates with you, and then at the end of our time tonight, I will give this one away. And I'm excited to do that. Okay, so for now, I want to teach you about our mantra and do our mantra to open our space. I'm going to go ahead and open a circle because we are doing journey tonight. We are doing full ceremony tonight. I'm going to, actually, I think I will go ahead and call in the directions before we do our mantra. I'm not going to use my drum for that. I'm just going to use my voice. So I want you to center yourself, call your energy into present time. Whatever's distracting you from this moment, just let it be, let it go. Tonight's meditation is a deep one. My intention is that it's going to be deep for you. So really try to release anything from this moment that's distracting you or keeping you from being fully present. And I want you to make sure that your body is in complete alignment. Roll your shoulders back. Adjust your posture so you're sitting up nice and straight. When you straighten your posture, you create a stronger energy line, which makes it easier for energy to flow through you, for you to become a more open and clear channel for what needs to come through. And tonight we're asking Hecate for some keys, for some signs, for some insight and some wisdom. And so the more accurate your channel can be, the more open your channel can be to allow that insight to come through, I think the more value you're going to get out of the experience tonight. So stay right where you are. And I want you to imagine that out of your left hand extends a white beam of light, 4 to 6 inches in diameter. Holding that white beam of light in your hand, and feeling the temperature of your hand change as you hold it. I want you to imagine that white beam of light extending out of your left hand and wrapping itself all the way around our community tonight. Those who are here now and present and live, those who will be joining us later and watching later. It's all the same, so we're including all of you. And as that beam of light extends its way around the circle, it will come back to you in your right hand. And I want you to really feel the energy of our community tonight. You know, as you hold those two poles in your hand, two ends of that beam of light, you're holding all of us too. And so I want you to imagine that any energy you send around the circle will come back to you threefold. That's Hecate's promise, right? The threefold law is hers. She's called Hecate Trivia, or Trivia in Latin. Trivia, which we think of as trivia, like a game, right? But trivia is actually 3 ways. The trivia, the 3 ways. Via is the pathway, the way. And so that's what the threefold law represents, and that's why Hecate is the guardian of that principle in pagan practice, that everything you do comes back to you threefold, and she stands at the gateway of those three doors, right? And so tonight I want you to imagine sending, let's say, love out of your left hand, knowing that love is going to return to you threefold in your right hand. Or sending healing out of your left hand, knowing that healing is going to return to you threefold in your right hand. And think tonight about what you have to send, what you can spare tonight to send to our brothers and sisters in Soul Shift, knowing that you will enjoy a threefold return of that energy in your right hand. What would you like to send out that you have available and that you would also like to receive in return? That's very much true. Yeah, so she has, just like Athena, Colin, she has multiple names, right? Athena has all of those variations too. And so it's because in Greece, what they did with the goddesses is they would give them surnames that would represent their alternative functions. So Sotera is one, Trivia is another, or Trivia is another, that represents the different properties and the different aspects and the different energies, because these goddesses were so mutable and so what's the word? So not flexible, but sort of multi-purpose. You know what I mean? They represented a lot in the Greek pantheon and also in the Grecian households. And in Athenian culture, she was really seen as a protector of the home. They didn't really focus on the gateways and the gate between worlds and the labyrinth of energy. They really focused more on food and the home and protecting the home space. Beautiful. So Diane's sending always love around the circle and getting love back in return. I love that. Rosie's sending self-love, courage, and clarity. Beautiful. Unconditional love and peace from Tara. Back to you threefold. Discernment, clarity, beauty for Scout, and back to you threefold. Abundant energy from Ms. Kix LU, and back to you threefold. Jessica is sending confidence, abundance, and joy, and back to you threefold. And on we go, right? They do, Dawn. I don't know how green with envy you should be. Sometimes working here is like constantly being in college, because they constantly have to learn new things and we never repeat things. So it's like they're always on their learning edge, and I think it actually wears them out sometimes. I have a great team and they go for the ride, but working here, like, you can't ever rest on what you know, because what you know was interesting yesterday, but it's not helpful today, you know? Which is so funny that I, as Athena, created a business like that, you know? So compassion and patience from Cassandra, love and healing from Kate's Picks, faith, trust, and flow from Sharon. Yeah, if you're like me, if you're a little geeky, you probably would love it. You know, I love learning, and I constantly like to evolve and grow and incorporate and integrate new things and new languages and cultures and practices and traditions and ceremonies and rituals. But at some point, it's like, yeah, that's strategy too. Yeah. Well, it's good. It keeps it, when you have to learn something new, your brain develops new neural pathways, right? That's how you stay young. That's why my dad always jokes, but he's like, I don't work for you in that way, so that's why I have to do Sudoku. My dad does that to create new neural pathways to keep his brain young. But you have to constantly be showing your brain new pathways to things to stay youthful, which is why retirement is actually when older people start to decline in terms of health too, because they stop thinking and growing and expanding. Cue siren. And then their body sort of pays the price, right? Beautiful. So Bailey sending strength and flow, riding the waves. Pagan OB sending contentment. Cindy sending support to rise and to elevate. I love that. That's so beautiful. And then all of that back to you threefold. Woo. And my dad doesn't bundle. My dad does all of the perfume samples. To this day, every single perfume sample you've ever gotten has been made by my dad. Since the beginning. He's an engineer, and he actually made his own equipment to bottle it. So he has a little, it's handmade, right? But he has a little jig that he made to fill the little samples, and he loves it. But that's the extent of his learning. He's not here helping me, do all the other things that we do. But yeah. I asked him if he wanted me to find someone else to do it or to get a machine to help him, and he said no, that he loves it and that he feels like customers get that energy when he does it. which I think you do in a way. Yeah, it's really cute. I pay his mortgage. I do. I take financial care of my parents, and he makes all my perfume samples. It's a very lovely exchange, I should say. Well, it's really cute because every time I go to visit him, because he has a little space in his house where he makes them, I'm always like, it's Muse. And he's like, yeah, it's like a test. Or I'll go, that's Vesta. And he's like, you're so interesting because even to this day, you've never guessed wrong. Like when you walk into the house, you always know what I'm bottling. It's so cute. He does. He really loves it. It's true. And I have kept perfume samples just for myself, just knowing that it's his hands on them, you know, like how special that will be to me one day, right? So keep your perfume samples because he's done every single one forever. Okay? That's really cool. He loves Muse. He loves Dea. My dad loves Magica Rosa. He was so happy when we brought it back. When I told him he couldn't sample it, he was super bummed because Magica Rosa is one of his all-time favorites. What else does he love? He likes Sacred Sandalwood. Oh, there was a spicy one that he really loved. Which one was that? It wasn't Vesta. I think it was Samhain perfume that he really loved. It had different notes, different kind of spicy notes to it. Isn't that cute? I will. It makes me cry too. My dad's a good human. He really, really is. The good in me comes from multiple people, but primarily from him, right? I'm glad you like knowing that. And he brings a little box every week. He makes his delivery. It's so super cute, you guys. He has a little cardboard box that he delivers his samples in. It's so cute. Well, thank you. Yeah, I won't discontinue them until he can't make them anymore. As soon as my dad can't make them, I'm not going to do perfume samples anymore because it would be too hard on my heart to have them come any other way, I have to say. It's so cute. You do. You have my dad in your house. Okay, so your mantra is two words tonight from Sanskrit: Bodhisvaha, Bodhisvaha, and Team SG. I'm so glad you guys like that. Team SG can put it up for you, type it for you, so that you can see the spelling of it. Bodhisvaha. But I want to teach you the whole mantra. It was really tricky for me to choose a mantra this month. Really tricky until I got here, because I really try to connect the words and the meaning to the energy of what we're doing to everything, right? Thank you, Bailey, for that. So Bailey put it up. It's Svaha, Svaha. Okay, perfect. And so when I decided on this one, I knew it was the right one. Bodhisvaha loosely translates from Sanskrit to "May you be enlightened," or "Enjoy the enlightenment." Okay, but the full mantra. Yeah, and there is a meme, but not for the full mantra. So hang with me because I'm going to teach you the full mantra now. You ready? The full mantra goes Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. I'll say it again. Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. Deva Premal has done this mantra. You can look up those lyrics and you'll find on iTunes different artists who've done a beautiful rendition of that. I think Ram Dass has done one too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. Here's what's interesting. The word, it is the Heart Sutra that activates the heart chakra. The word gate, now this is where it got really interesting for me. I chose Bodhisvaha before I went back to the original Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. I chose it before, okay? And then I looked down and I thought Gate, which means gone, like out of reach, out of sight, like out of consciousness, Gate, right? And then I looked down and I realized that it was the word gate. Gate. And this was after I had chosen the partial mantra. And the gate is what Hecate guides and guards, right? She is the gatekeeper. So even though it's not the same word, Gate and gate are not the same, but they're spelled the same. And I thought there was a really interesting synchronicity there between Gate, which means gone, and Hecate, right? Which Hekat in Greek means from afar. She who sees from afar. She who works from afar, right? Isn't it interesting? Gate means gone. And in Greek, they think of her as the faraway goddess, that she comes from another realm. And she's the only goddess in the Greek pantheon that the Greeks themselves articulate that about. Isn't it interesting? So we're not going to do the full mantra tonight, but I wanted you to know the story of it because there was some interesting synchronicity and serendipity when I realized that. That seemed like it was really powerful, and I wanted to share it with you. So Bodhi Svaha is our mantra, and the reason I chose that is tonight's a choice. Okay, tonight is the one meditation I will say this, and I'm about 3 days away from ayahuasca, so I'm already in it. I mean, I've been feeling it for 3 or 4 days now. Having a hard time kind of being here, to be honest. But I wanted to be here, and sometimes it's really good for me to do work with you when I'm in that liminal space, because I think you can feel it. I think my own vibration increases, and so even though I'm tired, right, because it's a lot of sacrifice leading up to it, and I'm already feeling that. Sometimes I think it's good for me to be with you. Afterward, it's like dessert, right? It's like all this wisdom pouring through, all this insight pouring through, all this magic pouring through. By the end of the day tomorrow, it's very hard. I just want to be candid with you about that. And especially coming off of, 10 hours of flying to Mexico in 4 days. I'm jet lagged too. But I really wanted to be with you tonight and hold the space, because I think this is the right time for me to do this work. I actually don't even think it would be as powerful if I did it after ayahuasca. I'm more intense but lighter, but I will be 100 times lighter on Monday. Like by the time you see me again on Monday, if I don't go live this weekend. But I'm not saying that for pity's sake. I just want you to know, like, it's a lot. And so if you're feeling a little bit of it, you're probably riding that wave with me too. No, I'm doing a live event here in the shop tomorrow night. We're doing incense crafting in the evening tomorrow night live. I'm like, you guys need to warn them. Like, I'm not all here, right? Like, woo. Well, thank you for seeing me. I appreciate it. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Tonight is a big deal because this meditation is a gateway, and you have to say yes to it, is what I've downloaded from my guides, okay? Is what online too, Colin? What were you asking about? Let me know. Yeah, no, I'm in another zone. Tonight has to be a choice that you make. Because there's a before this and an after this. What you're going to do tonight in meditation, part of it is ask her for a key to the gate. And then you'll choose whether you want to open the gate or not, okay? Oh, no, the incense class is only in person. It's probably for the best, because there's like 75 people coming tomorrow night to make incense here in my classroom, so it's going to be interesting. We're making shadow incense. But anyway, you have to decide if you want to do this or not. If you do it, the reward will be more shape-shifting and transformation for you, and that's what will lead to the payoff, I think, at the end of December. Like, in a way, I guess I'm inviting you in to the space where I am now. Does that make sense? With this meditation tonight. And it's like, do you want to move into this liminal space where you lose track? Oh, yay, Carol, I'm so glad. You lose track of where you are in this moment, but you gain footing in the other side. But you will be between for a little while, probably till Samhain. Now, here are some options, okay? I'm just sharing this with you because I want to make sure in service of full disclosure. I think it's going to be a powerful transition. You could wait and do it after Samhain, which would be fine. I mean, there's no harm, no foul. You could even just sit and watch tonight but not go into the meditation if you don't want to. Because it won't be as intense if you do it after November 1st, because the portal will be closed, or closing, right? The Samhain portal, okay? Okay, good. So at least you guys know, and Ms. Lucky's like, well, what if I'm already there? Then great, then you're ready, and now's the time, right? Okay. Okay, good. So let's begin with our mantra, and then I have a couple of things I want to tell you about the meditation, and then we will dive right into this magic tonight. I'm going to light my candle. I'm feeling the desire to do that. And I think I'm going to... I already have Morgana on, so I don't want to overdo it tonight with perfume, but I think I do want a little bit. So I'm lighting our transformation candle from our mesa. I think I do want a little bit of the perfume from this month. It keeps settling and changing, and I love it more every time I smell it. I hope you're enjoying yours too. I'm going to rub that all over. I'm going to get it on the mala for whoever wins this. I can smell it too. And then what else do I want? I want my mini mesa. And then I don't feel like I need my Athame for tonight. I think that's good. That's everything I want. Do you have everything that you want? Did you put your perfume on, or Hecate, or whatever you have that you're working with? Go ahead and anoint with that now. And then we'll begin with our mantra. So the mantra is Bodhisvaha. And so we begin. If you don't have a mala, by the way, just stay with me. I'll count for you, so you'll know when we get to 108. Heidi found her old Hecate perfume, and Jill has Hecate. The old Hecate is super magic. Song Blue would be really good. And Song Rouge would be really good too. So either of the Song perfumes or the Song sacraments that you have would be really good to work with tonight too. Okay. Bodhisvaha. 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 Bodhisvaha, 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 Bodhisvaha. Om Shanti 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 Om. So good. And by the way, if you don't know about malas and mantras, so malas have 108 beads on them, in addition to what's known as a guru bead, which is this bead right here, which is your starting point and your ending point. And the reason that we recite mantras 108 times is that from the Vedas, which are the original spiritual texts on the planet, so it's the Hindu pantheon and tradition. The Hindu wisdom is the oldest wisdom on the planet. If you ever wonder why I'm constantly going back to Hinduism, and to these ancient Sanskrit mantras, this is the oldest text we have. It predates the Bible. It predates any spiritual text on the planet. This is the original knowledge. And so according to the Vedas, there are not 7 chakras in your body, but there are 108 chakras in your body. And so when you recite a mantra 108 times, you fill every one of those energy centers with the energy of the mantra. Does that make sense? And so we have filled every energy center in your body with the energy of enlightenment tonight, which I think is really amazing. Also, when you say a mantra 108 times, you also fill the energy of your space. So if you say it out loud, your home, your room, my classroom is full of it, right? Woo! At the end, I said Om Shanti 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 Om. Om is the sound of the name of God, and Shanti means peace. So I just always end my mantra recitations with Om Shanti 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 Om, as an acknowledgement of source energy and a request for peace. Did you feel it? It's a beautiful practice, and I really didn't begin to work with mantras and malas until I was in my early 30s, was when I really began that practice, and I always do it. And there are mantras for prosperity. There are mantras for overcoming obstacles. There are mantras for love. There are mantras for enlightenment. There are mantras for almost everything. There are mantras for the elements. There are mantras for the directions. And so it's a really beautiful way. But yeah, the call to Hinduism is a call to your oldest soul, because it is the original wisdom. And I'm so glad that we have yogic traditions and more modern translations of Hindu wisdom and expressions of Hindu wisdom, because it allows us to work with the what I would say is the most powerful pantheon on the planet, because it predates the rest of us. I mean, Greek wisdom is great, and Roman wisdom is great, and Mesopotamian wisdom, it predates that too. So I have to remember, like, this is the original wisdom truly on the planet, and such reverence for what that really truly means and represents. Aho. Okay. So let's talk more about Hecate before we begin our journey tonight. I'm going to be drumming for you. She wanted me to use my Hunabku drum, so I'm following that wisdom. It's a big, loud bass drum, so I won't be talking while I drum, because you won't be able to hear me. So I'm going to lead you into the journey, and then I'm going to drum and let you fly. But like I said, don't feel bad if you decide, I'd rather wait and do this in November when the energy isn't so powerful, or it's not as strong, because I think that's a decision that you'll need to make about your timing. So Hecate in the West is seen as a very scary goddess, because she's known to guard the gateway to death. But that's because people in the West are afraid of death, and they don't want to talk about death or look at death, even though death is a very real part of life. I think in every other culture and tradition, death is not seen as such a scary thing. To people who are wise, we would rather pull the death card than the tower card, right? because death isn't as scary, but you know, the energy of the Tower card of disruption and loss, that's scarier than death, because death is seen as sort of a natural part of all cycles of everything, right? Yeah, in the West we're afraid of everything, it's really true, but we definitely don't want to look at or talk about death. We certainly wouldn't want to honor a goddess who represents that. But the reality is she's much more than that, right? So I want to share more about her with you for a few minutes. Like I said, ekat in Greek means from far away, or ekas is from far away. So she is the goddess who sees you from afar. She shapeshifts. She shows up in different ways. She definitely is a goddess of crow medicine and raven medicine, but she shows up in a lot of other ways too. She's the goddess of the labyrinth. She is the goddess. She's represented by gates. In ancient Greece, they would often put altars to her near gateways, like gateways leading into cities or out of cities would be governed by and protected by Hecate. And so she's thought to guard, she's all the triples, right? Crossroads, gates, and entrances, maiden mother, crone, life, death, and afterlife are also in her purview for sure. She has lots of allies, snakes, black dogs. She's always shown with torches because she lights the way, and with keys because she unlocks doors. And those are doorways to perception. They're not, I don't think of gateways and doorways as literal expressions. I think of gateways as levels of ascension. It's almost like in a video game when you're ready to move up to the next level. That's what Hecate is. And that's why tonight I'm asking you, like, it's up to you whether you want to ascend now and move to this next level of your pathway this year right now, or whether you want to wait till there's less energy around it. Like I mentioned, the Hecate Trivia, the Hecate of the three ways, but she initiates you into the mysteries. She's an initiator. Not all goddesses are. If you come to Hecate and you ask to be shown, right, if you ask to have the mysteries revealed to you or translated to you, she will do that. She does come in dream time, but in my experience, I've never had an experience where Hecate caused me fear. Sometimes she causes me a little anxiety, just in terms of, like, am I ready for this next level of evolution? Am I really, really ready to experience whatever that looks like? But she's always there. She has a maternal aspect. Remember, she's the triple goddess. And so she has a youthful aspect, almost playful. She has her mother aspect, which is like serious business. We're transforming. You are ready for this. You're going to do this. You're strong enough. You're prepared enough. You have the I mean, she's very reassuring. And then she's also the crone, right? She, at the end of your life, she knows how to escort you to the river Styx, right? Where our ancestors, you know, will take that final ride down the river and rest in the arms of the ancestors. And so she governs all of those places and spaces, right? For sure. And so tonight, the intention of the meditation is this. Tonight, we are going to ask her to lead us to the gateway of the next level of our enlightenment, of our bodhi, of our evolution. And at a certain point, what I've been told is I am to stop drumming, and I'm not to say anything to you, but I am, if you look at the camera, I will look at you. You don't have to say anything to me. You also don't have to open your eyes. So when I stop drumming the first time, that is the moment when you are being invited and initiated into this next level of your path. And so I will stop drumming. I will look at the camera as a signal to you. And then at that time is your time to say yes or no, right? And if you decide not to pursue past the gateway, then just drop back into meditation and relax and enjoy the rest. If you say yes, when I start drumming again, what I have been told in meditation is that she will then take your hand and guide you across that threshold. And she will give you a key. It may not look like a literal key, okay? It may be, she may give you a plant, or she may give you a symbol, or she may give you a feeling all over your body, or she may give you a scent, right? It depends on what your psychic gifts are and how you receive information, okay? So once you say yes and you proceed, so you can either say no and just sit back and relax and stay in the meditation, or you can say yes, and I want you to either physically take a step forward or in terms of just mentally taking a step forward, and then she will proceed with you. But there's no forcing that point, okay? And I won't judge you either. And you don't have to tell us if you said yes or no, because honestly, this is your process. Whether you choose to proceed and are ready to proceed for the next step is really, truly up to you. I love that. So Adaru had a beautiful intention for tonight, and that was going to be my next thing. So thank you for that. I would like you to set an intention for what the key will unlock. Doesn't mean she's going to give that to you. I mean, as with all the goddesses, they do what they will. And they give you the key that you're ready to receive, right? So you could say, I would really like a key to unlock the name of my business, right? Sometimes she gives one key, sometimes she gives 3 keys. She's the triplicate goddess. And so don't be surprised if she comes with 3 scents or 3 symbols or 3 whatever. So Denise is asking, what if my gifts are blocked? That could be your intention, Denise, is for her to give you the key to unblock your gifts. And if there is one goddess who can do that, it's not Athena, it's Hecate. I mean, she really, whatever it is that you want to experience or to know or to understand or to unblock or to reveal or to express or to expand, tonight's really, really good. And you can ask her to choose too. But ask her to tell you what she's giving you. See what she says, right? That's right, Colin. In my experience, I agree with you completely. Colin says there ain't nothing she can't unblock. So I'm going to close my eyes and set my intention. And I'm going to invite you, because I'm going to be journeying with you, so I'm going to invite you to do the same. I feel like she just gave me mine because like I had one thing in mind and then here's what you're gonna get. Okay. As my voice cracks. And then I want you to, once you've got your intention set, you hear the crow? Once you have your intention set, I want you to take one more moment and just center yourself and completely, if you've decided to move forward, just release fear right now. There's nothing. Can't cue that, can you? Cue crow. There's nothing that you're going to see tonight that could harm you. You are safe. You are held. You're protected. You're in this beautiful space. And so I just want to reassure you that everything that you could possibly need to have a beautiful experience is here and totally available to you. Do you feel ready? Do you have your intention set? You can do honey if you want. Okay, so I'm going to prepare us for this journey. My opening of the directions tonight will be a little bit different because what I'm going to do is open a really tight circle around the gate tonight. We already opened up a big circle of energy around all of us together, so now I'm going to open a tighter circle of energy with the guardians just around the gateway. So I want to invite in the guardians of the 7 sacred gateways tonight to be present to us in our ceremony. We ask that you come close tonight and surround the center of our circle around this gate, this gateway between who we are today, where we are today, and who we will be after this experience, who we are becoming tonight, tomorrow, next month, for the rest of this year, into 2020 as we prepare to celebrate a new year in just a couple of weeks. And so guardians of the East, we ask that you come in close and tight tonight. Create spaciousness in our thoughts. We ask that you blow through any fear or resistance tonight to help us see really clearly what the best next steps are for us in our lives. We ask that you bring that element of air to our hearts, to open our hearts. Bring that element of air to our minds, to open our minds. We ask that you create ease and flow in our lives and to create space for a new level of awareness to unfold and to evolve within us this evening. We welcome you into our ceremony. Guardians of the Southern Gateway, the Fire Gateway, tonight we ask for courage to pursue our transformation. We ask for protection in the south. This is Hecate's domain in the south. And so we ask that you stand steady with us. Send, if you feel called to, the guardians and allies of the Southern Gateway. You can send some fox medicine to us to keep us light and curious and agile and open and playful. Could send us some snake medicine tonight to help us shift through and move through those pockets of discomfort that we experience when we're changing and when we're growing. And we give thanks to the guardians of the south for being with us this evening. And guardians of the west, we ask that you come in tightly tonight too to guard that western gateway, that water gateway. Help us to experience a deep emotional healing and release tonight. Help us to release fear, anxiety, resentment, frustration, any of the emotions that are blocking us from our next level of evolution. We ask for purification, body, mind, and spirit as we enter into this sacred space with Hecate tonight. We welcome the guardians of the west. Guardians of the north, we ask you to come close tonight, guarding the northern aspect of this gateway that we're about to cross, calling in grandfather medicine, calling in patience and stability and strength, protection here in the north. Protection in the north looks like strength, right? It looks like physical power. It looks like the ability to sit with your discomfort and to move through it slowly and gracefully and easily, not resisting anything, and trusting that there's a higher power always with you that keeps you safe and protected and held. And we welcome the guardians of the north into our ceremony space. Guardians of the upper realm, we ask that you guard the upper realm of our space closely tonight, calling in all of our angels, ascended masters, teachers in the spirit realm, our higher self tonight to be with us as we connect with Hecate. We welcome the guardians of the upper worlds, guardians of the middle world, coming closer with us tonight. We're so thankful for your presence, for this here and now moment, our ability to gather in sacred space and time outside of time. We welcome you into the ceremony space. And then guardians of the lower world, the lower realm, we ask you to come in tightly tonight and hold us from below. Give us a firm and solid foundation upon which to stand this evening. And as we cross that gateway, help us to stay grounded, connected. Help us also to send some of our healing and our transformation tonight out to the rest of the planet who needs it. Our planet is learning how to cross thresholds, and it's not easy. And so as we do this work tonight, help us become good teachers as well to share this insight and wisdom with others and help them learn how to cross through the gateways in their own lives. We welcome you into the ceremony space. And with that, our circle is double open. I'm going to go one more time around with the beautiful arrowhead knife that I sent you in your mesa. If you have it, you can use that to open one more layer of energy around our circle. Aho. Okay. And so the first part of the meditation, like I said, is just moving into Hecate's presence. And so as I begin to drum, I want you to imagine yourself in an empty space. You can even look at your mesa for some guidance about what this looks like. I want you to imagine yourself, maybe you're entering a massive castle, but you're entering the inner sanctum, and all around you it's quiet and it's dark and there's nothing there. Maybe you feel stone around you, stone under your feet. But I want you to enter into a space outside of space as I begin to drum, and a time outside of time. And slowly as I drum, I want you to allow Hecate's gate to come into your view. And then when I stop drumming, that will be the moment when I look at the camera. Again, I won't say anything, but that will be the moment. Is it a yes or a no to cross? And you can decide in that moment. And then when I start drumming again, you can either stay where you are or cross the threshold and receive the keys. Are you ready? So staying where you are, you can keep your eyes closed if you want. So if you said yes, you crossed a threshold that many have not crossed yet. And you've opened a doorway to new insights and new awareness and new energy to come through. And in this moment, what you have access to is what we call the triple vision. So it's the ability to see in this state past, present, and future, things as they were, things as they are, and things as they shall be. And so I want you to take a moment while you're still in this really beautiful liminal space to engage that triple vision. And she has to take you into darkness to do it, because that's when your night vision turns on, right? And so in this space of emptiness, really, it's the void that you're stepping into. I want you to notice, I want you to reflect upon something in the past that you've tried to get clarity about before, but haven't been able to. Call up that situation or that circumstance or that relationship that you have not been able to find clarity about in the past. And I want you to run it through this triple vision filter. See if you don't have greater clarity about it now, or at least one new insight that maybe you didn't have before. Hecate's very good at showing you why that happened, why that person left, why that relationship didn't continue. So Hecate, we ask for the key tonight to understand the past with greater clarity, to live in the present with greater clarity, and to anticipate the future with greater clarity. And now I want you to think about something in the present that you have open questions about, something that's been challenging for you or painful for you. Could be about your health, could be about a relationship, could be about your job or your work. Whatever you have a current open question about, and see if you don't have some key now to unlock some part of that. Maybe not all the answers, but one step in now tonight that you can take. And now I want you to look ahead. This is her third gateway, right? Something in the future that you have a question about. How is this going to go? What's going to happen with that? How will he react, or how will she behave? How will this unfold? And so you can also ask for a key for that gate too, to understand that problem or dynamic or situation with greater clarity. And let's just sit here for a minute and let some wisdom come through, let some insight come forward about past, present, future. Good stuff coming through for me and for you too. Ooh. That's beautiful. Sherry said that was all in my heart. Blackness opening to new energy, right? Croning ceremony for Colin. That beautiful. Acceptance and sacrifice and getting grounded for Bailey. Acceptance, clarity, and strength for Sarah. It's beautiful. That's okay, Annette. You can always come back and do it. And honestly, like, also, part of the evolution of the practice is to be able to continue the meditation despite disruptions too. You know what I mean? Like, go into that inner sanctuary, because then the outer noise, like, there's constantly noise around me, but going all the way within will allow you to stay there for just a few minutes. Okay. No, she's here to comfort you. She's here to reassure you. She's not here to. She does no harm. I mean, that is her law, right? She does no harm. She's here to remind you that in the darkness is where you can see the light most clearly. Right? Like, if there's so much light, how can you even find the candle flame, right? Sometimes you need that darkness to be able to see the magic, right? Look at that, Walter. He said, will I be accepted by my family 100%? And she said, no, and you will not need it for them. Aw, Shell received a crown. I love that. I love that she got a crown. So beautiful. Opening to higher frequencies for Jessica. Blindfolded Scarlet, isn't that interesting? So that you could see with your other eye. Yeah, Scarlet, I feel that I can channel from this space for you that it's too much of this and not enough of that, you know? And these eyes will deceive you, but this eye will not. Right? These eyes need filters. Be your light. It's funny, when I lean into you, Adaru music, what's coming through is look up the word light in other languages for your music. She's showing me luz and lux. You know, lux is Latin for light, and luz is Spanish for light. Look up light in other languages. There's something there for you. Beautiful. Oh, I'm so glad you guys enjoyed this experience. I really am. I didn't create it. It came through, so I try not to take much credit, but it felt very accurate for tonight. So now that you know her and she knows you, she has seen you, right? So now she can identify you. She's like Crow. Once a crow has seen you, it never forgets you. Did you know that? It never forgets you. You're coded in its memory. So she has seen you now. And so you are coded with her, right? So whenever you need to feel that sense of reassurance and that you're safe, I mean, that was one of her messages for me for the collective, was you are always safe. You are always protected. What she said was, you are never not protected. All right. And so when you're ready, when you feel like you've received your transmissions and your downloads and everything that you need for tonight, obviously it won't be the end of your journey with her in totality, but just what you need to receive from her tonight, I want you to take a moment and give thanks. Express your gratitude in a way that feels right to you, and you bow or say thank you out loud, or just hold a space of gratitude in your heart for what she's offered to you. It's hard to say goodbye, isn't it? So good. I love that for you, Sizzy and Min. It's time to think from here, you know? In the Buddhist tradition, they really don't draw a distinction between the mind and the heart, because it's the thinking occurs in both places, right? And in the West, we really draw a hard line, like, are you thinking about it or are you feeling about it? But in a lot of the Eastern traditions, this is seen as pretty seamless, which I think allows for more freedom in terms of how we think and how we feel, and not writing off our feelings in service of our thoughts or vice versa. And so when you're ready, let's release our sweet Hecate back to her chambers, back to her domain. As we release you, Hecate, with so much gratitude for coming through and showing us the triple path, the trivia, the three ways. And always remember, this was coming through for me, for you guys in the journey too. I think she would say, if she was here, that there's always three ways out and three ways in. So when you're really stuck with a problem, like, I don't know how to solve this, I always want you to hear Hecate in your mind saying, there's three ways. There's always three ways. And that medicine was actually echoed to me in ayahuasca last time. Because in ayahuasca last time, what I heard was, there's never a no, because there's always another way. So no is always an illusion, because there's always a yes, but it's how do you get to that yes? That yes may not look like what you thought, but there's always another way. And it reminds me of this trivia energy. If you try this and it doesn't work, then you go here. And if that doesn't work, then you go here. But when you stop after trying one time, you haven't even given the other options a chance. And so it's not, I think she's trying to get you out of your comfort zone, some of you. Like, you're stuck because you don't know how to think your way out of something, or how to visualize your way out of something, because you try one way and then you're like, well, that didn't work. And she's standing there with these two other keys going, do you need help? I've got some keys for you. So, sweet Hecate, with so much gratitude, we release you to return from where you came, and we're grateful for the wisdom that you shared in your time with us. And we ask that you continue to speak to us and through us as we move deeper into the shadow season ahead of Samhain. We ask that you help us keep an open mind and an open heart and an open power center. Open vision to see all sides. And if you can really do this, what I'm hearing is it will heal your relationships, because your relationships are stuck, some of you, because you're repeating old patterns and it doesn't let the other person grow or evolve, which isn't fair to you, and it also isn't fair to the other person. So I'm being guided to tell you, think three ways before you move. Try this, but also try that, and also try this other way. Because if you open up new pathways in your relationships, then you're liberating the other person to become something else. And that's how you get out of these patterns that some of you are in. I feel like it's like a dozen of you. She's showing me 12, so I don't know. I feel like it's about a dozen of you who are stuck because you are only trying one key in that lock, and it's an old lock, and the key doesn't work anymore. Thank you, Hecate. With gratitude, we release you from the circle. Amanaho, and so it is. I can feel her sort of like, a lot of the goddesses, when they leave, they continue to face forward, but Hecate spins and turns. Like, I can feel her literally like she's already gone. Potentially, Kit Kat, right? It could be grounding. Beautiful, you guys. And be who you need to be, Renee, right? Old keys don't open new doors, guys. And so we'll send that smoke down the pathway after Hecate. She exited to the west for me. She just went She's got things to do. She's busy. This is her season. She made a really beautiful stop here for us, though, and we appreciate it. Oh, did you feel her leave particle by particle? I love that. I know, Sherry. I'm very jealous. Take a little bit of me with you, please. Okay, so we opened our circle. We opened our circle twice. So we're gonna close the energy twice. Once around with our obsidian, and then once around with our selenite. We want to release the guardians of the 7 sacred gateways. So much gratitude tonight, guardians of the lower realm. I felt them under my feet. Did you feel them? Like the guides, I asked them to come closer so that you would feel really held, and I literally felt like the container was like this big. It felt cozy and kind of warm. So I hope you felt that too. I wanted it to be kind of woomy, you know. So guardians of the lower world, thank you for holding us under our feet. Thank you for the stability. Thank you for helping us send this energy out to the planet now where it needs to be received, so that others can learn how to open themselves, find new pathways to healing and to peace and to beauty in their lives. We release you with gratitude. And guardians of the middle world, thank you for my brothers and my sisters and this time together. We're thankful for our community. Sending these blessings to everyone in our community who hasn't watched yet but will watch later. You're with us now. We release the guardians of the middle world, guardians of the upper world, the angelic realms and gateways, the Akashic records that I feel a lot of us access tonight. Access to all the star gateways, star systems, and outer realms. We release you tonight with gratitude. Thank you for attending us from above. And guardians of the north, thank you for standing in our presence, providing that strength and that wisdom and that patience and support. We're so grateful. We release you with gratitude. And guardians of the west, thank you for helping us clear and move through some old emotions tonight to approach our life now with new perspectives, a new sense of curiosity and freedom and anticipation of what can be for us now, and greater clarity about the past, which will help us heal our emotions. We release you with gratitude. Guardians of the South, thank you for your fiery presence, for the courage it took to do this work. Thank you for helping us release fear and stagnation and helping us move boldly into the next steps of our lives. We release you with gratitude. And guardians of the East, we give thanks for the new year that's coming, the new doorways that are opening for us, new perspectives that we gain tonight that will help us think in more spacious and productive ways in our personal life, in our professional life, our spiritual life. Thank you for touching all parts of our lives tonight with these blessings and for blowing your breath of life through our energy fields tonight to create a sense of openness and connection. We're thankful. And we release you with gratitude. Woo! Woo, amen aho. And so it is. Thank you to all of the spirit guides who attended us this evening. We release all of our spirit guides, ascended masters, angels, archangels, higher selves, spirit teachers, ancestors in the light who were here with us in our presence as well. We release all with gratitude. And so it is. Intense in a good way is an interesting way to think about it. Thank you for that, Bonnie. I appreciate it. Did you? Well, sometimes your tears are necessary, though. Your tears are purifying, right? That's what salt water is. And so sometimes you need them to come so that you can feel that sense of cleansing. I cried after our ceremony on Monday night, as we were talking about grandfathers. And my grandfather is one who I can't feel in healed space, my paternal grandfather. I can feel my paternal grandmother in healed space all the time. She was a little bit there tonight. I've never felt him before, and he had such a terrible life. And I just always send sweet medicine across the line to him. I wish I could have taken care of him the way I take care of my dad. So I have that sense of wishing I could have been more present to him, even though he died before I ever had a chance to meet him. But sometimes those tears come to purify and to cleanse and to heal you, to release your grief as well. And I think that's really powerful and really beautiful. I love that. I love that total mystery came from this. Oh, that's so beautiful. Did you see what Pagan OB said? I had this exact experience with my family. I never met my grandfather, but I felt him today for the first time ever. I think that's a gift, for him and for you. Because if you can send that medicine to him and feel that connection, I absolutely, with my heart and soul, believe that they feel it too. I really, really do. It's so good. Yeah, Lynette's like, I have to go journal a book full. It's true. Yeah, the grandfathers are the harder ones. I think those generations didn't communicate. They didn't, certainly not in Mediterranean and other countries, just didn't communicate. They bottled it in, and they were holding a lot. They were preparing to pave the way for us. And I think they knew it, I think they knew that we were going to stand on those shoulders one day. So beautiful, you guys. Wow. It would not have been this experience without you. I'm grateful for you. I'm proud of you. You did really good work tonight. I mean, I see you in all ways. I think you did a magnificent job tonight. And you moved the needle. I mean, if you were willing to do this work tonight, I absolutely believe that you will feel the result in a powerful way. Oh, and thank you for that, Pam. It really is true. There's never been a perfume sample that my dad didn't make. One day that'll be one of the more touching parts of this story. I sometimes think about, thinking about Sage Goddess one day when it doesn't exist anymore, which is a weird thing to think about. Isn't it weird? But, if nobody carries it on. I hope someone will, but if no one does, it's weird sometimes to thinking about Sage Goddess when Sage Goddess doesn't exist anymore. And that's, I think about those things about my dad and his energy and things like that. It's really interesting. You are so welcome, you guys. Well, thank you. Thank you for the blessings on my journey too. I will probably see you tomorrow. I think I'm going to go live tomorrow for just a little bit. And then I will be mostly offline Friday, mostly offline Saturday for ceremony. And then Sunday, I'm halfway anticipating coming live to you with the first round of downloads. Depends. I'm usually back pretty quick. Ayahuasca has no downtime. You're back. I mean, right afterward, I can cook dinner. I don't love to because I like to just sit and journal and stuff, but I'm back right away. So as soon as I'm back and I feel like I've processed a little bit, I'll probably come live just to give you the first download. It's always more magical when I'm right still in the medicine, so we'll see. So beautiful. I love you guys. Thanks for being here tonight too. I really appreciate your presence. It was special for me too. And thank you for the blessings on my journey. All right, you guys, have a beautiful rest of your evening. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. If not live in here in the room for shadow incense making at 5:30, then I'll see you online. Tomorrow, are you, I'm actually not sure, so we'll see. I'll kind of keep you posted on timing and let you know what's going on over here. But thank you. I really do love you guys, and I'll see you very soon. Have a good night.